Okay, so I want to try to explain this concept because this is a little bit more complicated, and it took me quite a little bit of time to test some to test some stuff out just to understand how it really works. And the way it actually works kind of blew my mind a little bit. So it's not what you see is what you get, basically. Okay, so let's try to tell a story about how this works, right? So do take note that there are two very look-alike colors here, which is the teal and the green. Okay, so don't complicate themselves, right? So there is a teal here and there is also a green over here. So let's start off with Ultima here. Okay, so let's take a look at what she does, right? So let's take a look at her passive here. So the thing is, whenever she gets healed, there is a 57% chance that she will trigger the next effect, right? So if she gets healed, and let's say a proc chance succeeds, so what happens is that you're going to trigger all units that is linked to this unit to attack an enemy within range, right? So for example, you are going to attack. So because you are attacking, that's actually going to trigger someone else who has an attacking passive effect. So that's why her arrows here, which is called the aura bearings, are teal, because teal signifies attacks. So if you just move to the right a little bit, and now we have Lola here, right? Let's take a look at her passive. So what you notice is that this triggers whenever she attacks, and that's why this is teal colored. So once she attacks, she will then trigger all units, causing linked units to grant a bonus attack buff, for example, right? So this is what her link effect does, Lola's Might Aura. So what happens is that she will then buff other allies around herself, which means that, you know, because she is going to buff allies, her aura bearing would thus be white. So as you can see here, her aura bearing is indeed white. And therefore, because she has a white aura bearing, that is going to trigger some of the white passives, alright? So for example, if you take a look at Elise here, she actually triggers her passive effect whenever she receives a buff, which is also colored white. So this is exactly how it works, but this is not the full picture, of course. So the thing is, whenever she receives a buff, then she'll trigger all other units to attack. And the thing is, she can also trigger Lola to attack again. So you can actually bounce upwards like this. So for example, if I get my Ultima to be healed, there's a chance that Lola is going to attack. And if Lola attacks, there is a chance that she's going to buff Elise. So if Elise is buffed, there is also a chance that she's going to re-trigger Lola to attack. And there is actually an infinite combo, and you can have up to an infinite amount of combo in the field itself. But that is not all, because as you can see, even though we have an arrow pointed left, right, we have an aura bearing pointed left, but the thing is, because it's a white arrow, which means that Lola only provides a buff. A buff does not trigger Ultima to use her passive effect, because Ultima can only be triggered whenever she's healed. So that's why you don't see a white line here as opposed to the white line over here. I hope this is understandable. But that is not all, because even though there isn't a white line here, all it signifies is that it's not going to re-trigger another passive effect. That's all it means, because Lola is still going to be able to buff Ultima with this passive effect. She is still capable of buffing Ultima this way. It's just that her buffing Ultima does not trigger Ultima's passive effect. So another scenario, for example, right, if let's say Elise, she gains a buff either by using her skills or by getting buff via different ways, right? There is a chance that she's going to push the attack of Lola and the attack of Madeline as well, because she has two teal arrows, right? Two teal aura bearings around her. So it's going to be very common for you to see Elise striking happening for Lola and Madeline, which is great because they are both ranged DPS units. So they are going to benefit a lot from getting extra attacks via using Elise striking aura over here. Oh, and another thing that I want to mention is that you might notice that there are missing lines. So for example, you will never see aura bearings of the color pink, right? You will never see pink aura bearings. And you will never see red aura bearings as well. And there is a good reason why this is the case. It's not that you're unlucky. It's not that your account is cursed. Because take a look at how you can trigger the red one, for example, right? So what this does is 60% chance when this unit receives damage. How is it possible that there can be a red aura bearing, this red line, when what triggers this effect is when this unit receives damage? So that's why there are some lines there are some aura bearings that does not exist. So the red one does not exist. The same goes for the pink aura bearing as well, because this requires this particular unit to use an active skill. So it's not possible that an ally can trigger you to use your active skill, for example. So that's why there is no pink aura bearings as well. And actually, for more information on what exists and what don't exist, you can actually just go to your guidebook here, and you can go under Squad Sets and Formations Advanced, and you can see, right, this kind of like explains a little bit, but not everything as well. So it doesn't really explain the full thing. Okay, so we're going to try to attempt 2-5 because I was not able to 3-star this. So this is like the perfect place for us to test this out, right? Just to prove some of the stuff here. But of course, do take note that we have proc chances. And I think I will just put like the aura bearing chart or whatever that my team is using somewhere on the screen so it's easier for you to assess it. Okay, so we're going to start the battle here. And I'm going to move my range DPS espers up a little bit closer because of how the striking auras work, right? So my range DPS should be near an enemy in order for them to attack and benefit of the striking passives. The striking auras, I mean. So we're gonna move my archer up close, maybe just land a normal attack. And she triggered a healing because she does have a healing passive, right? So maybe I should show you the passive before everything goes crazy. Yeah, so things are just linking up like mad. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so for example, maybe for this archer that I used, right, she has a healing effect here, right? So whenever she attacks, there's a 68% chance that she will heal, and by healing, she would actually heal whoever's linked to her, which is going to be Ultima. And the thing is, whenever Ultima gets healed, she's actually going to trigger all units to attack, and that's why you would see her like landing more attacks as well. And of course, Ultima was also trying to trigger Lola to attack, but Lola is way too far away. So yeah, it might be a good idea to know which of your units you want to move up at the start. So I should have moved my Lola up a little bit sooner, right? So I'm just going to use my normal attack here. Okay, don't take her out. Don't take the enemy out just yet because I want to test things out, right? Yeah, so as you can see, after Lola attacked, she actually buffed the... she actually provided attack buffs to both my tanks, right? Because of the aura bearing, and therefore, that triggered Elise, I think, to trigger her allies to attack as well. So that's how that worked. So we're gonna move up Madeline a little bit here, maybe somewhere within range, right? So maybe here, and I'm just gonna wait for the time being because I want to test her out whether she can attack or not. So we're gonna move Ultima up close, and we are actually gonna buff. And the reason why we want to buff is because with our first skill here, whenever we buff, we can actually heal ourselves. So after healing ourselves, that will trigger our effect here, which will then allow both my archers to attack because they are both linked this way. So we're gonna do this, confirm. So at the end of my turn, that's when I will heal, right? So I'm actually just gonna move up ahead and maybe just wait. Okay, so she heals everyone, and she did not trigger her effect. Oh my god. She didn't trigger her, because I think there was like a 47% chance that she would trigger on herself, right? Yeah, so that's the thing. Oh, she got a buff. That's why now we have Elise striking here. Right, Elise striking. Nice. And you might see some of those stuff like Archer's Feet, Mage Feet, all that kind of stuff. Those are extra passive effects, but it's not part of the aura bearings at all. Okay, so let's test this out one more time, right? So if Elise gets buffed, she is actually going to trigger the attack of both Lola and Madeline. Even though in terms of Madeline, she does not have that link effect, right? So Elise is not linking towards Madeline, but Elise will still trigger Madeline to attack. So we're actually going to buff ourselves by using any one of our skills here. So I guess we can just move up close and use this on the healer at the back. Get a buff, maybe trigger. Okay, we didn't trigger, RIP. It's all about RNG after all. But there is another way that we can show this once more, which is whenever Ultima gets healed, there is also a percentage chance of her triggering some of my allies to attack, which is basically my two archers. So I guess I can move my Madeline up front a little bit, use my skill over here, like so. Attack up buff, and did that trigger? Nice, that triggered a striking, and Madeline will be striking as well. So yeah, so there you go. So this itself proves that you do not need to have the link in order for the trigger to happen. All the link really does is just tells you whether this link would trigger more links afterwards, or like trigger more aura passive effects. So we're just gonna go ahead and clean this up, right? Because this is freaking hard to piece together as like in terms of like content. So we're just gonna go ahead, kill everything around us. Okay, normal attack, nice. I need my tank up front because when the boss attacks, I think we might die a little bit. Yeah, so I guess we can just summon a doggy. Go doggy! I love that sound effect, by the way. Okay, so the dog is actually gonna distract the boss a little bit, I think. Yeah, just let the boss target my dog. Wait, what? Alright. Okay, so it's a little bit janky in terms of like, you know, some of the areas that you can press, and that might screw shit up a little bit. But it's okay. So we're gonna take out, let's see, take out this guy. Bam. Yeah, and this is how we can trigger like an insane amount of like aura chains, right? Good tank, dog. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's move our archer up close. So unfortunately, my archer is not able to reach the boss, or at least this archer. So I guess I'm just gonna normal attack. So there's a chance that I can heal my tank, heal my Ultima this way. So yeah, I guess I'll just do this. And I didn't heal. RIP. What a terrible showcase. Go up front, normal attack, probably take the healer out. Nice, okay. And okay, so this is the fun part. So now my mage is gonna go up front. Gonna buff herself. Madeline is so good, by the way. Take a look at this, right? So I buff myself up, I gain a new turn, I reset the cooldown of my second skill, which is insane. And I basically just nuke. Nuke for free. Okay, that was not a lot of damage. Alright, and now, Elise, you're gonna go there. Deal big DPS. Boom! Oh my god, dude, Elise is so freaking strong. Oh, I regret. I should have brought my archers up close a little bit. Oh, never mind, they already taken their turn anyway. Okay, so I really need my tank up front. You're gonna be screwed. Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. Okay, so bring my archers up close a little bit, right? So this is everything that we have learned. So let's do some damage here. 1,300! Holy shit. Macaroni. Okay, buff up. Just protect my range DPS around my tank, right? And now move my remaining archer up front and just normal attack the boss. And that's it. GG. Nice. 3 stars. Yeah, so that's it for aura bearings and how it works and how the formation actually matters a lot in terms of like just triggering a lot of passives. So I hope this answered a little bit of the questions that you might have because it can get very complicated, right? I understand. But anyway, I hope this information helped you in any way. If it did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Valiant Force content. But anyway, that's it. This has been Dairy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.